every single NAIC have been right before Worlds. It's always been that last crunch time for some of the players.
I'm still a first-year master, and while I have had a lot of success this year, I feel like I am still working to prove that even though I'm a lot younger than a lot of the competition, I am one of the best players in the world.
Kaya bounced back really well after EUIC and went on a tear at special events and regionals, top cutting almost every single event. And that is a feat for any player in any division to be that consistent with performance.
I'm very excited, of course, trying to keep the title in Germany.
When Isaiah lost that finals match, that wasn't just Isaiah's loss, it was everyone in the group. And I think that's a testament to how close we are and how much we care about each other.
This season, especially after we picked up after COVID, has been really, really great for our group. Outside of Reagan in the senior division, our group hasn't really had a big win. Hopefully, as we go through this tournament, one of us can bring home the greatest prize of them all.
Love you, buddy. Love you, Ember. We're gonna miss you, bro. Oh, you got this, man.
These next few months are gonna be a lot for me. Obviously, the big one is moving to college. I'll be living on my own for the first time, and I'm really excited just to meet a bunch of people and honestly just take classes that I'm interested in.
Yeah, there for 5 days, and Sunday night we fly to London. Okay.
There's a lot of nerves coming in. This moment is 3 years in the making. I've been waiting 3 years to get another shot at the World Championships. I play this game for hours every day. I spend a good chunk of my life dedicated to being the best that I can at this game. And knowing that the reason that I wasn't able to accomplish this goal on the biggest stage was because I wasn't good enough and I couldn't make that final play kind of haunts me. And it's not so much a self-deprecating thing where I'm like, I'm a horrible player, I'm not good, because I know that's not true. It's more realistic where I know I'm a very good player, but I also know that if I was just a little bit better, then I could have won my top 8 match against Pedro. I maybe could have won my finals match against Azul. So those things stick with me right after they happen.
Love you, Isaiah.
To welcome everyone to the 2022 Pokemon World Championships.
The World Championships is finally here. There has never been Worlds like this.
It is the first World Championships in Europe, and the fact that we've had to wait a little while for this particular World Championships means that all of the hype and all of the excitement is here right now on that center stage.
Stage is huge. It's even bigger than last Worlds.
It's so exhilarating to walk into this hall and see all these players are here for the same reason. All these fans are here because they love Pokemon, they love competition, they love seeing the best battle it out.
All the top competitors, they have to put in hundreds of hours just to even have a chance to end up making it to the top.
Creo que este tipo de eventos es uno de esos en los que se enciende la pasión de estos niños, en los que podés ver cómo su amor por el juego empieza a crecer y crecer.
I've always looked at Worlds as like the big celebration at the end of the year for the community.
Worlds is sort of the pinnacle achievement for many Pokemon players. It's the only invitation-required tournament of the season.
It all comes down to this moment.
If you're a world champion, even if you top 4, top 8 Worlds, you become sort of immortal in the game. And I think it's every player's dream to ultimately hoist that Pikachu trophy at the end of the tournament, and it's mine as well.
For Scrapper? Bro, that match was free. You don't need anything.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. If it's Ian's, I'm gonna play Digimon.
You will.
Dude, I know I lost him twice because he's like a god. 2 events in a row.
Isaiah's taken on a lot of responsibility, taking this leadership role in the group. And it shows that he's able to do that because he's earned the trust of all of these group members. Making a deck selection, making these big decisions going to events, it's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot on the line. And to really put trust into Isaiah shows that these group members feel confident in his choices, in his selection, and his skills to get them to where they need to be.
He is one of the best players that this game will ever see, and the fact that he's so young and has so much time in the game is terrifying. That's why he's kind of like the leader of our group and kind of makes all the gears kind of turn.
Hello and welcome to the 2022 Pokemon World Championships. We've got day 1 invites, we've got day 2 invites. This is a big story at Worlds because these are 2 separate competitions. Day 1, you need to have a record of X and 2 losses or fewer.
Day 1 competition for Worlds is brutal. You've got to play quick, you've got to be consistent, and if you lose 2 games or you tie multiple games, you're out.
The challenge of day 1, honestly, is just getting through the tournament.
What does this do?
The Pokemon metagame is just the collection of decks people are playing. Pokemon is often like rock, paper, scissors. One deck beats another, which beats another, which beats one deck. And so figuring out which decks beat what decks, and if you can make a choice that beats all of the decks, that's sort of the idea behind solving the metagame.
Sam and I are already confident that we can make it through day 1 with a good deck.
1、4、5、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、18、19、20、OK，好 ，OK， 正式决赛 ，OK， 好，没问题呢，240，对，好。
I would say there's a bit of scouting between both the players playing in day 1 and also those not playing. So those not playing honestly have a better chance to scout because they can walk around, get a sense for the general metagame.
The big thing is looking out for anything that we don't expect and then making sure that my friends do well, because if they don't do well, then maybe there's a problem with the deck that they're playing and might have to reevaluate for the second day.
All right, so while we're here, if this is
I was just thinking this. Yeah. What does this mean?
Yeah. These are certainly some of the strongest players in the field already. I mean, Xander Perez got a top 4 at the World Championships in 2017. Zachary going down to 1 prize, and I'm not sure if there's many defensive plays Xander can make at this point.
Okay, it's okay.
Looks like Xander was drawing 2 power tablet there, and then we get the KO with the Mew on the Palkia, and Zachary Portia wins round 1.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Because I think you got it. Because the best I can do is quick shooting the active, and I'm 20 short. Big game, man. Big game.
Competing at Worlds always feels different than any other event for me. In the season you play for the points and of course also the title, but at Worlds is just a bit bigger, a bit different. So I think playing is the most fun for me, but also just testing with friends on Thursday and Wednesday was great.
So most testing groups, they only talk about Pokemon, they don't hang out too much, but with us, we hang out with each other pretty much the whole event. My go-to person for advice out of the group is probably Isaiah, just because how accomplished he is and how much he thinks things out.
I've loved getting to know Reagan better this year. We've been friends for forever. He was pretty much my first close friend in Pokemon, so it's been awesome getting to, I guess, reconnect with him even more this year, and I've really seen him grow as a player, become closer with the testing group, and he's been one of the main ones that I've kind of relied on through testing these past few days.
Oh, God! There it is. Dude, what is wrong with you? Let's go. And then me and Reagan, I was like trying to play a game against him, and then Reagan was sitting there. I was like looking at the list, and Reagan was sitting there, and then we were trying to figure out the proxies, and it was so bad.
Whenever their testing group began to come together with the older dog, Sam Chin, and then you have John, Isaiah, Reagan, and Bakari, it's not only a Pokemon preparation, but just family. I've honestly been shocked that they made it through a full season and they're still now testing together, because there's just differences in opinion. I think what's kept them together is their commitment to one another.
So would you be worried about others playing Slowbro? How are we beating that?
I trust Isaiah and Justin sometimes more than myself, honestly, when they've made a decision on a deck that I can like put my tournament in their hands. I trust like my testing, but I also trust theirs just as much.
I want to play Palkia because the deck is like, I love the deck, and like I mean, I think that the deck beats the Zard deck, but I also know that Palkia didn't do very well today, and I don't want to play the deck and then like, I don't know, it just doesn't have very matchups. But then Reggie like sucks. Like I feel like if I played Reggie and I do bad, like I'm just asking for it.
That'd be good. I mean,
There's so many ways to play it.
But like in theory, I mean, it has good matchups. Even you do your one thing, you can do it really well. It's just.
Reagan, what exact matchups is the slacking?
I guess this is the hard part of Pokemon, right? If there's an easy deck, then whatever else. What would you play?
This format's just really hard to solve.
No, you played again. Yeah, see, you did fine.
I want to be sure and confident in every last card. And the testing the day before and the night before is some of those valuable things, because you take all the months or weeks, whatever it's been, of information, and then you cram that all together, you take the lessons that you've learned, and then you find the best deck, you make the best deck you can make.
I think a lot of being a day 2 player is holding your nerve in day 1, making sure that you stay confident and strong in your own team so that when you come to play the Pokemon game, you're gonna have that confidence and not be thrown by any kind of shenanigans you saw in day 1.
Isaiah, Justin, and John played Palkia, the deck that they played at NAIC and Milwaukee.
Going into Worlds, Palkia had a huge target on his back.
I mean, the biggest vulnerability for Palkia is that because it's the labeled best deck in format, everybody has some sort of strategy against it.
In round 1, John was playing against Diego Castellaraga, world champion in 2017. For John, it was a really tough matchup because Diego's deck had some aggressive counters that were designed to stop John's deck right in its tracks.
I ended up playing an Arceus variant, which I've been playing all season, and I was pretty confident going into it that I would take a good matchup against Palkia, which is by far the most popular deck in Worlds. Probably 50% of the meta at Seniors was Palkia, which is crazy for just one deck.
Kaya puts in a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of testing, and that's with her and her brothers. They've done their homework, they're ready to play, and they feel confident that they can either take home a tournament or place really well.
Having Dario here is always nice. He doesn't have a lot of time because of his studies and stuff, so it's always nice to like get him back to a tournament.
Isaiah is 4-0-2, 2 wins, and he's in top 8. He gets matched up against Stonejourner. Now I'm operating off of it's a bad matchup, we can still beat it. I sit down with Reagan and John, and they say it's unbeatable.
The most common way we win is we'll Marnie him early, and he'll sit on nothing. We'll swing into the Stonejourner. It's pretty much impossible for us to one-shot it. I don't know. There's no way for him to beat it.
I mean, they play this to beat Isaiah, so I'm feeling like, this is the end of our World's opportunity. I see Isaiah pretty late in game 1 begin to, he's counting, and I'm like, the only way he's counting is if Isaiah feels like, I think I could win this right here, and he does a play where I'm pretty sure he did a quick shooting and then he did a quad goon and got Stonejourner, and he wins a long game 1, and it was like, we're back alive, baby. Let's go, baby. One more. One more, dude.
Yeah.
There you go. Dude, how'd you do that?
Easy.
Whoa, that move. Yeah, easy. I knew you were gonna say easy.
I was 4-1-1, so I need to win my next 2 to make top 8, and we've seen that there are 8 Palkias, 1 Urshifu, and about 2 Arceus. And I'm fine with all those matchups except the Urshifu, which is pretty much an auto loss. And my opponent was shuffling his deck, and as he was shuffling, an Urshifu slid out.
So Reagan does a good job of masking like that super emotional energy. I know that it being his last World Championships really meant a lot to him, and he really wanted to get that big finish. So that moment of seeing him play against the Urshifu deck that virtually no one was playing in the tournament, the one bad matchup that he hit was just devastating.
So I was pretty defeated at that. I tried my best. I tried to take different routes against him since it wasn't exactly a deck we tested against. It's kind of a rogue deck, and he destroyed me. He 2-0'd me.
When you have a plan, when the game is going good, and you can just play, and you feel like you can win this game, that feels so exciting for me. Well, of course, I wanted to make top 8 and maybe even defend my title. But in the end, I was happy with like any placement as long as I had fun playing.
The London Open is essentially another tournament that goes on at Worlds for people who want to just attend Worlds to spectate and have fun, or for people who don't make it through to Top Cut.
This is actually the first time I played the Open after Worlds, because usually the Open clash with day 2. So it's very nice to play the next day, even though it's a lot, like playing 8 rounds at Worlds and now in the Open. We played 6 rounds yesterday and 2 today, and I went 7-0-1 in total. In the end, it came down to a tiebreaker between me and second place, but I came out as first place. So I just won the London Open I played in.
In the final round, I hit probably the worst matchup I could hit for my win in, which was unfortunate.
I would give the matchup about a 90-10. It is just a horrible matchup for him.
We hit a deck that obviously was built to beat Palkia, and that's okay though. You know, Isaiah feels fine playing against Pikachu. It's Pikachu Jolteon, which is even worse, and Isaiah says, you know, it's winnable.
Isaiah needed a miracle to win that matchup.
How'd your tails? Fair. I'll go first.
I am no longer in the tournament. The only person in the group that's alive is Isaiah. He's 402.
Isaiah has high goals for himself as a player. He really wants to prove to everybody that he is one of the best players. He knows he has the skills to do it, and he's confident in himself, and that's what really allows him to drive himself. His whole goal of showing up here at Worlds is to say, hey, I've shown that I can place at regionals, I've shown I can place at internationals, let me show you that I can perform at the world stage as well, and if I do all that, you've got to consider me to be one of the top players the game has seen.
We start watching the match, and game 1, Isaiah quickly gets a big knockout, gets a second knockout, and Isaiah takes game 1 pretty quickly. So we are 1 game away from top 8 at Worlds. I mean, the dream is here. I think some of the most beautiful moments for me with a kid, you know, whether it's a final of a regional or of an international, seeing this row of teammates who could leave because they're out of the tournament, but they're not leaving. They're there, ready to hug Isaiah or hug John or whoever it might be, because their teammate's success is as good as theirs. And man, that's where I've seen this year, you have something special. Game 2, we're in a good position. There was a moment in game 2 where I thought, we're in, we got this. And so then we lose game 2, and game 3, the only way we're gonna beat this deck is if we get a really good start. I can't take it anymore. I don't wanna watch the look on the face that would be the end of it.
When my dad was pacing, I kind of like looked back, and I remember specifically seeing John and then seeing some of Isaiah's friends, and then I just kind of stepped back, and it was this whole like crescent moon of people. It was very tense, like you could feel the eyes. I mean, my heart was beating fast. I was just like, come on, come on.
All of a sudden, Isaiah set up, his opponent set up, we got a game. And there was a chance, a couple turns, opponent couldn't get energy. I thought, we're still gonna figure this out. Of course, Isaiah, you're gonna figure this out.
I mean, it was obviously winnable because I just dominated him the first game. And so I was just thinking as I was shuffling up for game 2, come on, just give me like one of these next 2 games. Let me draw really well, or let him dead draw, and then let me be able to get this final slot.
Congrats.
when that round 8 ended and he's sitting there alone, it's almost an image of the passage of time. Like a world has passed. That was an opportunity. It's not everything in life, but it was one that he had, and it's gone. When I see Isaiah walk away and sit down after losing, I'm proud because I know he's fully in the moment. He's taking it in.
You know, I really got to see my older brother in his element. I got to see him win, I got to see him lose, you know, I got to see him be very happy and very sad, you know. And most importantly, like I got to see the impact that he's made on everybody else.
One of the great moments after we hugged Isaiah, the Japanese opponent who just beat him came over and wanted to embrace Isaiah and tell him, I've watched you.
Oh, you watched me? Yes, I know. Congrats, go win. Congratulations.
To me, that was a little glimpse of what Isaiah and I always start off with, which is a good name is to be chosen above great riches. And it was a little glimpse of you've chosen and you've got a great name, son. And I think that'll be something we talk about just as much as we talk about the loss in the months to come.
I pick up my Arceus with Powerful Belt and I win the game with Slacking because he had Big Charm. But I didn't. So I game three. Game 1 I rolled him. I'm already packed him turn 2. Up top. All right, let's move. Yeah. He already left again. Yeah. What's up?
Also, everyone's trying to work with us, Isaiah. The Australians talk to me. Japan talk to him. I feel like everyone in the group showed that we are probably the most dominant group in the game right now. It really means a lot to me, like a lot, that I finished up there with Isaiah and Justin, the 2 people I work the most with, and that I was able to finish the season ranked 3rd in North America.
I was able to finish #1 NA, which has always been my goal, and I was able to win 3 regionals this year. Feeling really good about aging up to Masters, actually. I forgot to register for the Open, or I would be playing my first Masters tournament. Isaiah and Justin and John also decided to sit out. I think they were pretty wore out from yesterday.
There's definitely a lot of emotions just in the fact that the World Championships has ended, and it's an event that I've put so much time into, and it'll probably hit me on the flight back that, you know, it's over and that I was so close. But at the end of the day, there's another season right around the corner that I'll be playing in, and so gotta turn our focus there.
As a person who was early eliminated from Worlds, was able to play in the London Open. I played a different deck that I think was more aggressive and took less time, so I would tie fewer rounds, and thankfully I was able to go 8-2 to squeak into the top 8. I'm going into next season currently at #1 in our group, and look out everyone, I'm not giving up the lead. When I first started playing Pokemon competitively, the oldest players who played were maybe teenagers and maybe in their early 20s. You know, I started the game when I was 9 years old, and now I'm 33. So I've always been in that group of sort of the oldest players, and now a lot of us are getting married, having kids. And in 2017, the very first Pokedad became a world champion. Diego Casiraga, his wife had just given birth. They had a beautiful child, and he was a real first Pokedad world champion. And we're going to see more and more of those, and I can't wait to potentially be one myself. I'll wait till I have a child to win Worlds. That seems fair.
Trading card game, London Open, juniors and seniors. You may begin.
When you just start the game, it's necessary to accept the fact that you'll just, lose. You will not always do well, even if you think that you've prepared the best or play the best deck. And it might just happen that you won't draw as well, or that you might make a misplay. And it just happens. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't determine that you're a bad player just because you did not so well at the tournament.
There's always going to be next match and next tournament, just to breathe sometimes during games.
Going back to that kid I was whenever I first found Pokemon cards, I think that if I could see who I've become today, then I would be so happy with it. I would be so excited.
I've been playing this game competitively for about 12 years now, and the community and my friends here have basically raised me, because I'm 20 right now. So I started playing when I was 8 years old, when I was very young. Friendship in the community means a lot more to me because the close friends I've made, I look at like my family. I look at them all like my brothers. They're family to me, and I love them.
Once I get back, I want to be part of that process of getting people back involved. I want to be able to see the people I haven't seen in forever. I want to help bring that back to life. I want to be part of that healing process. I want to make sure that they are enjoying this game that I have grown to love. And I'm excited to be a part of that.